So today we're focusing on Nelson Mandela. It's his birthday weekend. Yesterday he would have been 108. And we're also talking about Adopt a South African Preschool, aka ASAP. And this nonprofit was born following my first visit to South Africa in 2018. While I was there, I had the opportunity to visit for just a few minutes a preschool in a very impoverished, crime-ridden community. And it touched me so much. I wanted to help that preschool in whatever way I could, and have found some ways to do that over the years since. But that's got us the name Adopt a South African Preschool. We didn't know better. And actually it should be called Adopt South African Preschools, because we're working with 242 of them at this moment, and soon it'll be another 30. But we've celebrated Mandela's birthday annually, starting during COVID, when we had the first worship service at Silver Lake Nature Center. Nelson Mandela was passionate about education, his own and that of others, all through his life. I'd like to share with you some highlights of his life by looking at the What Do We Know handout. So if you can find that, you may have brought in with you. And those online, you might not have it, but I'll read some of it as we go along here. Nelson Mandela learned from his life, which gave him the wisdom to be the thoughtful, strategic, principled leader who inspired trust. And he, along with Archbishop Desmond Tutu, is credited for the fact that South Africa did not explode in a violent civil war when finally the apartheid laws were repealed. It was touch and go for some time, and there was violence and bloodshed, but it could have been far worse without this wise leadership. Spoiler alert about these statements, they are all true. So Nelson Mandela was born in the Thembu royal family in a very rural village, and his early years he lived in a mud hut with a thatched roof. He mainly learned through observation and imitation, even from the beginning, and that's what he says in his book, The Long Walk, which is on the back table there, his autobiography. Though he was uneducated, his father, who also was uneducated, wanted him to go to school. The Xhosa religion focused on cosmic wholeness, so that certainly impacted Nelson Mandela, and it's part of our theology as well. Mandela was baptized Methodist like his mother. He didn't reference his faith publicly that much, but he did attend worship services not infrequently, in prison and after his release. After his father's death, Mandela lived with a guardian who led tribal meetings for his village, where everyone, no matter who they were, what sort of level within the village or role, had a voice. And no decisions were made until everybody spoke enough and there was unanimity. Can you imagine? They just would table it and have more conversation until they could get to that place where everyone could agree, okay, let's do that. So Mandela watched that, and that's part of what led to the sense of democracy that he had and the ability and want to listen to people. When he was in prison, all of them, no matter what role they had in the prison. He was interested in them actually personally as well. During his years at a missionary university, Mandela learned that patient, diligent training counted more than intrinsic ability. And that thing of grit, that's what we're talking about here, that push. He learned in cross-country running, where he was not the best, but he pushed at it and he got to be good and discovered that's the determination that makes the difference. In 1942, Mandela opened the first black law firm with his friend Walter Sisulu, and they were working on trying to bring justice to people who had been injured already by apartheid during that time. He became part of the ANC, which is the African National Congress. That group was committed to ending brutal white oppression with boycotts and strikes and civil disobedience. But it didn't actually work. And so some of them, like Mandela, went underground and started to do things that brought him charges of treason. and others too. There were lots of political prisoners that ended up on Robben Island with Mandela. What did they do? Well, they went to other countries and they spoke out about what was going on. They gathered weapons and they got them into the hands of some of the people within their own country. And they bombed buildings at night when no one was in them, government buildings. All of this to say, you got to stop. This apartheid has to stop, but of course it didn't. Mandela was sentenced to life in prison. He tried to educate fellow prisoners, wardens, and officials about the ANC, African National Congress's non-racial democratic policies. He was there 28 years and modeled self-discipline and dignity. He was an advocate in the prison system for better conditions for all of them. But when you visit there, which some of us did in 2024, on an ASAP-sponsored tour, there's a board there that was written as it was back then about the food. And blacks got the least amount of food, coloreds got a little more, and whites got the most food at each of the meals. So that was one of the things that he was addressing, but also to be able to have visits. They were always through glass. There was no way to do it differently, but it was like 2 visits a year kind of thing. Letters, very, very infrequent, and they all had to be read by the prison staff before they could be delivered and so on. But he worked on those things. In the 1980s, Mandela initiated secret negotiations with the government as the ANC and international pressure strengthened, and sanctions from around the world were really impacting South Africa. He was released from prison in 1990 at the age of 71. The negotiations intensified at that point, and Mandela and President F.W. de Klerk were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for being able to bring a peaceful end to apartheid in 1993. 1994 was the first democratic election in South Africa, and Nelson Mandela won that election. I want to just hold up this book, which I'll put on the back table too. It's called Doing Life with Mandela, My Prisoner, My Friend. And Bill and Linda and Steve and I were part of that tour in 2024. And Linda and Bill and Michelle are on the board of ASAP. And Michelle is going on the tour in 10 days. Yeah, to South Africa, and will be exposed to what we're doing with this mission, but also other things in South Africa, safari and Robben Island. Okay, back to the book. The author of this book, Christo Brand, was actually the main warden, the main jailer assigned to Mandela for years. And they were very respectful and very cordial and warm toward each other. He wrote a book about his experience with Mandela, and after Mandela was released, they remained friends. His son called Mandela Uncle Nelson, and it's just very heartwarming to read the inside story, like the socks on John Lewis, making an impression on this person. He's very human as he's describing all of this. And the ways that he helped the prisoners behind the scenes, even though he could have been fired for what he was doing.
And we got to meet him on that trip.
Say some more.
Oh, in 2024. He was just a very wonderful guy, and he was very proud of his association with Mandela. Anyway, and I have his signed autograph copy of his book.
Yeah, and Mandela was proud of his association with him. As you read later in the book, when they ran into each other in Parliament because he was, I don't know, like a page carrying documents around in the Parliament, Mandela would find him and introduce him to people, and he was a shy kind of person in that way, but Mandela never stopped being very connected to him. And actually, right after he was made president, he went back to the prison. And after he was released, he went back to the prison, not just to visit fellow prisoners, but the warders, the staff. There was a genuineness, obviously, with this man. There are quotes from Mandela on sugar packets in restaurants. So when you're stirring your coffee, you can read, and I have 2 of them on the back table there, just Mandela quotes. He felt education of the very young was the key, because if children were not prepared for school, they would remain illiterate and unemployable. The unemployment rate in South Africa is staggering. The official is something like 33%, 38%, but it's more than that. In his book, The Long Walk to Freedom, he said it was not the lack of ability that limited my people, but the lack of opportunity. This is where Adopt a South African Preschool and Nelson Mandela's life and legacy connect. Our mission is to see that every South African child has the opportunity to thrive. That requires that every child has access to a quality early childhood preschool experience. The vast majority of South African children and teens are not succeeding in school because they came to first grade unprepared. Their brains were not stimulated, they didn't have access to toys, which is how children learn, through play. And so they're just underdeveloped for the things that you must be able to do, like even hold a pencil when you get to first grade. Our congregation, through the Outreach Committee, has given ASAP another grant just this week of $2,000, and each of the last years since we started, this congregation has been extremely supportive, not just financially, but in every other way. People who receive grants or organizations are to report back to the church and what's happening with that nonprofit, and so you're getting that report today in a slideshow. So, every child needs and deserves preschool. I'm not sure what happened there. All children deserve to thrive, but South Africa's problem is enormous. The gap between rich and poor is the largest in any country in Africa. So this shows you that. Here's a big corporation, and right down here is a squatter camp or a township. If you can't see well enough, just move up, okay? We just couldn't figure out how to get this big again, this screen, although it was just fine this morning. But you can see the corrugated roofs and obviously the poverty, and there's no running water, there's no indoor plumbing, there's no electricity. This is another view. These are children who live in communities like that, and you can see this preschool, which has 150 children. It was started before they got involved with us, but we now have a toy library right on their location. This is Winterveld, where we visited in 2024. But you can see that the cement is peeling. The toilets are really something. Half of South Africans earn less than $75 a month. Half of South Africans are unemployed and discouraged about ever being able to be employed. We are working with the UN guidelines. You can see 4 of them there.
Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this is a township that we visited in Soweto. Soweto is actually where Mandela opened his only law practice, and where Archbishop Tutu also lived and worshipped for some of the time as Archbishop. You can see that this is the middle of a camp where people just informally have set up their own shacks.
I'm trying to find
The way to expand it, you can keep going.
presentation thing.
Keep going. Here we go. Can you imagine living in this with not just 2 or 3 people, but maybe a whole family? A lot of dignity, a lot of love, a lot of pride in the part of people, no matter what their circumstances are. This is still in that same place. So the person who took us around, had given us permission to go, because he said the people there would like the rest of the world to know kind of what their circumstances are. Said, hey, would you like to see where the children are kept? And most of them were not there, preschoolers that day. But this, you can see, is a group of them. Their eyes are not very bright. There's not a toy to play with. There's a woman sitting in the corner who is just babysitting. So in this picture, you can see Kevin, who is our tour guide, Um, and he's on our board as well. You can see the woman in the back of the place there. You can see the cement on the floor, this coordinated walls, and kids sitting with nothing to do. It's actually considered in these settings great if they are just sitting there quietly. That's the goal. But as soon as you sit down, they're all over you. It's really fun that way. So that shows you a little bit of what I was already saying. And sadly, these children are not going to thrive in school. Anyone coming from a squatter camp like this, where early childhood education is not available, is going to be among the 80% of fourth graders who cannot understand what they read. 40% of fourth graders can't read at all. So what's that going to do for their future? Like their parents, they may not get past sixth grade. Generational poverty will continue. But with the help of individuals, churches, groups, and a few grants, ASAP has been able to reach currently 11,807 children, 242 preschools, and 1,231 women are learning to teach and not just babysit. So this is our partner organization over there, a nonprofit called PEN. PEN has been working for 30-some years in these township communities. Township means impoverished, large places where people were just dumped, Black people and some people of color, during the decades of apartheid. So PEN is our partner. They're the ones who said, if you want to do something for preschool education, we've got a mission. We need to get the resources out into the communities because the women running informal preschools or daycares can't get in to get training and borrow resources. These are some of their coaches. They have almost 30 preschool coaches that work with the 9 toy libraries that we have now. And they're from those communities. They know the languages, they know the culture. There are 11 languages in South Africa. Each coach mentors 10 daycares with weekly visits, helping them become effective preschools. Preschool principals and teachers attend weekly curriculum training sessions at the ASAP Educational Toy Libraries hubs that are stocked with 115 different toys for up to 30 schools to borrow. Practitioners, so that's their word for preschool staff, learn which cognitive, social, and physical skills each toy, game, and puzzle, or whatever it is, develops. And they learn how to care for these resources, how to take care of them. They didn't grow up with toys themselves, but they love having a daily lesson plan enhanced by the toys that they're borrowing week after week. 2 of our toy library training centers are double-wide trailers donated by a local tile company. This one in Kiso has a huge field next to it, and during my visit in March, they did their first field day. It was wild. I mean, think about 23 preschools of children, 20 to 60 children from each of those. It was so organized. The music was deafening. The spirit was fabulous. And just so well done. I am always impressed by the quality of what is being done in this, our piece of the mission, but also the actual coaching and teaching of these preschool staff. So that's the double-wide trailer. And it's a beautiful mural on that one, and then there's another one too that also has a beautiful mural. But this is the heart of it. This is the toy library inside this particular one. And these boxes are all related to themes in the national curriculum, because that's what we follow, is the national curriculum for preschool. And this is just one set of the shelves with multiples of every one of the 115 toys. Weekly lesson planning is collaborative and fun, so these are preschool teachers and principals, maybe some preschool owners who come for the lesson planning. And then there they are, every Wednesday for an hour, 1 to 2. This woman is one of the coaches, and she's showing lesson plans in this book. Each person develops their own lesson plan for that theme. What toys they're going to borrow, what song they're going to do, what number they're going to emphasize, what letter of the alphabet or several letters. 3 preschools at each toy library are awarded an ASAP prize at the end of each school year for the progress they've made on goals they set. So they set goals and review them every 6 months. And these goals are aligned, again, with national standards for preschools in South Africa. 115 national standards, or 120. They'll never get to most of them. Well, I shouldn't say that. They'll never get to all of them, because one of them requires owning your own building. But they work hard to actually do what they need to do to be a viable preschool according to the government. And you can see that these 3 at one of the preschools hubs was awarded dolls that year as their prize, and they were delighted. Because you can't borrow dolls from a toy library. When you have to bring them back in 2 weeks, the children are heartbroken. Where's my doll? So that's what happens. One toy can teach so many different things. And when I've sat in on trainings and watched how these pen coaches teach about different toys, there was a big Lego toy donation, big box of Legos, and every preschool that got trained in it could get a free box from Lego. Okay. So at the end of each of the activities, there probably were 10 outdoor activities and 10 indoor activities that were taught of what you could do with Legos with preschoolers. The person giving the training, one of the coaches, said, okay, so what can children learn from this? And they blasted it out. You know, like 15 different things. Bing, 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 bing. Colors, counting, patterns, sequences, fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, concentration, frustration, tolerance, on and on and on. Cooperation is a huge one. 1 in 4 South African children, 5-year-olds, suffer from malnutrition, which leads to stunted growth physically and cognitively. In the preschools that we're connected to, children receive 2 meals a day, and the coaches actually check to see what's in the pot. Is what's in the pot what was planned at the curriculum meeting the week before, kind of thing. And of course, they're not employed by us. They're not paid by us. We're not paying them. It's all volunteer, so it's a very gentle, oh, I'm noticing in the pot, blah, blah, blah. Or I'm wondering if you would think about doing this. Very much walking alongside, holding hands warmly, not, the sort of colonial top-down kind of thing, just really supporting these women, and they love it. They love having this coaching. 900 children are receiving a high-protein breakfast cereal from another NGO that asked if they could do that. But look at how meals get prepared outdoors, for the most part, over an open fire in many of the preschools. You can see the pots in the back there and the firewood. So here's one of the cool things. Principals earn what's called Pendula points. PEN is that partner organization. To purchase items the schools will own, and they can get them from PEN's incentive store by attending trainings. The points go towards from setting goals aligned with the government preschool standards and meeting those goals, and improving their school's management, teaching, all of that, communication with parents, many, many things. They can buy crates of 110 wooden blocks, which was the focus of our fall campaign in 2025. We were able to fund 200 sets of 110 wooden blocks at a cost of about $100 a piece. Dolls, first aid kits, tables and chairs are really something they need badly. Fire extinguishers. We as ASAP just do the toy part. We don't do those other things in the incentive store. Dolls help children develop nurturing. This is especially important for boys in a country where most birth certificates do not name a father. Doesn't mean there might not be a father or a man or uncle kind of in their world in some way, but there's a lot of domestic violence in the country and a lot of push to address that and turn it around. But dolls, there was a little boy who came, I was talking with one of the coaches, one of the owners of a preschool or principal at this field day thing, and I said, how are the toys working? How do you see this making a difference? She said, oh my gosh, it's an enormous difference. It's just night and day for us. I said, can you give me an example of something, where a toy is making a difference? She said, well, there was a little boy who came to school one morning sad, crying, And they knew something had gone wrong at home that morning that he was so upset. He went straight to the corner where they had some dolls. He picked up a boy doll. He held it for about 20 minutes, just held it against his chest, standing there. And after that, he put the doll down, and then he just walked over and started to play with the rest of the children. So that ability to self-nurture is something that this boy was learning by having access to a doll in his preschool. I can't really see the whole thing, but she's stringing things like this, these little spools. We have a lot of resources like charts in the libraries as well, so that children can begin to think about roles for their future occupations. This is one of the things I love so much. The East Pretoria Rotary has donated this Sounds early reading system for our preschools once that they've gotten some training in what this does. And you can see the letters in the back there, but there's a board that is has the letters on it, and then they put these plastic letters on the board, and then they make three-letter words. I think this girl is spelling her own name, beginning with B-U. They love the phonics system. It costs only about $35. Lots of singing, and when there's singing, there's dancing. This was the day that blocks were delivered to a preschool, and I had the opportunity to meet the owner of this very, very rural, very primitive preschool, and kind of be there as she was receiving this set of blocks from the incentive store, because she'd ordered them. And then she brought them to her school the next day, and I was sent this picture of the children sort of figuring out, what do you do with blocks? You can see, again, this is a preschool where it's just very rudimentary. Look at the wall behind them, and these girls will need some more support to figure out, how to learn through play, but they're there. And if you sit down, as I said before, the children crowd around you, they touch your silver hair, they hand you a toy or a book, they sit on your lap, examine your watch and jewelry, they lean into you, they smile, and they just charm you. Marlies Nell, who you've met in this congregation, many of you, is our ASAP South Africa coordinator. She's established a board in Pretoria, and they facilitate fundraising and a lot of the coordination with Penn, although I have lots of communication with Maria, who's the head of the program at Penn as well, and others in that system. Marlies owned an educational toy store. She orders all our toys from suppliers she knows, typically at cost. Churches in both countries love our model and mission, and volunteers and staff from Penn's early childhood program are in this next slide showing a display at a church there. I think this is Marlies's church, in Pretoria. So this is Maria, the blonde in the middle. On the left, the blonde is Marlies, and on the right, that is Louise, and Louise is on the board there. This is Seppi, this is Lucy, and I'm blanking on her name for the moment, but that's the coach, the Penn outfit that they wear. And you can see this board, the Sounds board, and some of these toys are in the back of our church too right now. So the University of Pretoria Early Childhood Department is researching our model. We've given them data. Penn has given them their data. Why? Because we need greater visibility. Charity helps short term, and that's great, and we need it to overcome poverty. But justice is something different, and that's what is involved in figuring out why is this problem happening? What can be done about it? What are the systems that need to be changed, and how to go about it? That's what we're hoping we can get some visibility and credibility from this group of people studying the model and writing about it and talking about it in conferences. So here's Nelson Mandela. This is at the place in Cape Town where he went as soon as he was released. This is also where Nico de Klerk's walk ended, if you remember that 17 100-mile walk that he took ended here, and we had pictures taken right here too on our tour. So Mandela said, education is the most powerful tool you can use to change the world. Those who can't imagine change reveal the deficits in their imaginations, not the difficulty of change. So those are the ones we want to still reach. And again, many thanks to this congregation for helping us get there. Here's another Mandela, and then I'll stop here. Education is the great engine of personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that a child of farm workers can become the president of a great nation. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we're given, that separates one person from another.